Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer. You guessed it, once again. And today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution. This is episode number 24 of our Let's Play series, playing through this game, which is in what I would call a closed early access. Not truly closed, anybody can participate in it, but it is not available on Steam. The game will be on Steam later this year, I believe, but right now, if you want the game, you have to buy it directly from Game Labs on their website. Link in the description if you're interested. As you know, we're 24 episodes in, so you probably know the drill by now, but we are fighting the British at Fort Halifax in the northeast of the map. We have taken almost all of the map from the British. We are trying to drive them back. The main army under Lieutenant General, or whatever my rank is, Butcher, has driven back Gage's army, nearly destroying it. There are about 7,000 troops between Fort George and Fort Frank, just north of our position, sort of in the southeast, or not southeast, but we're kind of like near Salem, a little bit north of Salem, and Falmouth. But yeah, so we're kind of holed up where we are, waiting for some reinforcements, waiting to kind of rebuild our strength. The enemy outnumbers us heavily down there, but we figured we've got like 1,200 men coming out from the direction of Canada under Benedict Arnold, and there was a fort here at Fort Halifax which only had 600 troops. We thought maybe we could drive in, take the fort from the enemy, and then pull back. Turned out the enemy reinforced and had now about 1,400 troops, so they outnumber us by a bit. And we brought, I think, about 900 men to bear here, actually. But figured, hey, let's fight the battle. They can't fit all their troops in the fort. Maybe we can lure a portion of the army against us, destroy that, and then we can try and push them back. That's sort of the thought process that we're working through. But we'll see if that plays out that way. They have more troops coming north. They've pulled some of those 6,000 troops out of Fort Frederick and are moving them north to try and reinforce. So we've got a very limited window where we can fight this battle before those reinforcements arrive. And so really now I'm just trying to weaken them so that we can better enable the thrust from the south to come up. If we can knock, a couple hundred redcoats out of action, it'll make the Butcher or Washington's job easier. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to myself. This is recorded from a previous live stream, so let's go ahead and jump right into the action. Because of the reinforcements they're sending from the south, we're not going to weaken them enough to do that, but if we can inflict more losses on them than they on us, maybe we can accomplish something here to like weaken them more broadly speaking. Let's merge our units into divisions. We should have another, there we go. We got 2 batteries of artillery. Now, because this is a fort battle, I don't know if I actually have to assault them. We'll see. We don't have to assault either. We could just bombard them for a bit and then fall back if things don't look good. But my hope is that a considerable portion of their army is outside the fortress walls and we can, maybe isolate and destroy one of their regiments. And then we don't even have to attack Fort Halifax here. It looks like it's a level 1 fort, I think it is. Where's our commander? Like right on the edge of the map. Okay, here we go. We also do have some supply, although they are in a fort, so they also do. Benedict Arnold could die, but oh, they are coming for us. Okay. Okay, they are sending troops out. They're probably like, hey, we got this big manpower advantage. Let's go get them. But if they want to come at me, that artillery of mine on the defensive might be able to even the odds a bit. Assuming I can get them into position. All right. So they got skirmishers coming forward and a couple of companies of infantry trying to flank. The AI pretty much never attacks you directly, which kind of makes sense. They're going to present me their flank, though, as I get my guns ready. All right, they're shooting at my cannons, huh? All right, my boys have the cover of some woods, which should help. They do have some cannons in here as well. Oh, nice. That's a 60% cover figure. That is damn good. Those boys don't stand a chance against us in that situation. Let's move this division forward here to fire into the enemy flank. We've got a nice little bit of cover here too, and because we're sort of merged into two groups here, we've got more firepower than any one of their units do. Artillery's firing into them. So 35 to 15, good ratio there. 12 to 4, great ratio there. 29 to 8, great ratio there. 34 to 23, not quite as one-sided, but we're still driving these boys back. The artillery's coming in hot from the fort, but nothing I don't think we can handle. I thought they had another company that went out to the left here somewhere. Yeah, they're kind of in behind us. Or trying to be. Fire into their flanks. Give them the solid shot right down the line. What's he already doing? Part of the complicated factor here is also that casualties. They really need to have casualties restart, the counter restart. Some of these units are fighting their first battle, so it's like, this is probably what the casualty ratio is, but it's a little annoying when they... It's like, what is this battle and what is last? Let's advance a little bit to try and wreck some of these isolated enemy units. Maybe we can get them to rout off the map. Not just withdraw, but like physically retreat permanently from the map. We're going to stay at a good distance here from the enemy guns. So these guys are retreating, but they're not like fully routing per se. Those guys will refuse their flank. Let's pull this company or regiment back, or company, or whatever the hell thing there. Nice. Shooting up those skirmishers, those light infantry. Anything I can do to just weaken the British in North America. That's sort of the overarching objective at this point. And because the enemy still has a considerable number of troops back in the fort, I don't think they will retreat like permanently from this battle. But that's not really the point at the moment. The point is to defeat them so that they won't come back. Or not that they won't come back, so that they won't be as strong when Washington, or yours truly the Butcher, moves north against them. That was a heck of a lot of cannonballs sailing in there to hit nothing. They could bring more troops out of the fort. That's one other thing we got to be careful of, is they could be like, hey... Alright, hold on that flank. Alright, these guys are routing off the map, so that's good. Bring these troops back this way. Move these guys up to support. Meanwhile, with 60 cover, I am assuming we should fare reasonably well. Even with 40. Why are you pivoting. Don't do that. Stay back. Don't get over aggressive. Just stay back. All right, so we drove at least one of their units off the map. That's nice. Be nice to drive more. Remember, they outnumber me considerably. So even though we're dealing with some early success, we don't want to get out over our breaches. Wait, who? Frodo the hobo? What? Where did that come from? I didn't do that. Is that some goofy early access thing? Also, I know they're in loose formation, but they're showing us their flank. All right, stay back. I want you to pull back. I don't want you to get too close to these guns outside this fort. Okay. We might just end the battle at some point before too long. Not particularly interested in getting myself stuck in kind of a, I don't know what you call it, I don't know if this would even be Pyrrhic with the can. I don't want to end up in a Pyrrhic situation. All right, we routed the 43 men off the map there. Do these boys fight well in melee? I wish I knew. Because it'd be fun to wipe an enemy unit out rather than just cause them to retreat. I would think skirmishers wouldn't fight well in melee. My troops are somewhat tired, though. Alright, so we're in melee. My boys are exhausted. We are losing a lot more men than we are inflicting casualties on. They're taking losses, but it's not as lopsided as I would have liked. I didn't think my men were too... Why does it say friendly fire? They get hit by artillery or something? All right, go charge there. I know you're exhausted, but the enemy's got to be exhausted too, you know? I said I didn't want to get in a Pyrrhic victory situation, and these guys are still doing well, I think. Relative to what the battle started at, but... maybe another 160 exhausted men will tip the scales. The British got to be exhausted too, right? I want to destroy a unit. Problem is they're like right at the edge of the map. So if they get to that point where they're like, we can't take anymore, they're just going to, yeah, route off the map. And we didn't even destroy them, I don't think. Okay, well, that was a nice little fight. It does show us as being slightly stronger than them, but I'm not convinced. I don't think we did any, like, I'm assuming they still have another 600 men or so in the fort. Suppose we can move our boys up in this wood line and see. This is where it would be nice to have Morgan's riflemen because they would be useful. Because I think they can hit the enemy artillery outside of canister range. But another chance to knock out another enemy company here. That artillery is shooting high. They got their flank in the air, but it's shooting long. These guys are not going to last long. They're outnumbered 5-1 by each individual regiment. Can they wipe them out? Oh god, artillery don't. Hey, we captured them. Nice. POWs. Hey, artillery, it'd be nice if you weren't dumb. Like, your boys are in melee, maybe you don't try and butcher them with your artillery fire. Like, they're your boys. They're your men. Alright. So, they only inflicted 15 casualties and lost 140? That seems ridiculously lopsided, but hey, I'm all for it. Let's go send some boys up to spy on what might be at the fort, just in case they're weaker than I think. How's our artillery ammo? Some of it's good and one of them is real low. All right, so we got 2 enemy batteries here. One of them is weak, only 25. The other's at 100, which is full strength. I think we're still far enough to not lose too heavily. Maybe we can bring our artillery up and just engage them 2-1 and wear them down. Oops. Let's go spy on what's at the fort. Everybody on the 100 battery gun. 25-man batteries are not difficult to overrun, but the 100-man batteries are. All right, so they've still got a full complement in the fort. Looks like 480 men, 120 on each side. Let them use their ammo on you. But let's see if we can get our guns. These guys still have some ammo, so go resupply this artillery. Let's see if we can weaken them a bit with our own counter battery fire. Counter battery fire! 800 yards! 5-inch, 5-second fuse! I'm guessing there's a few of you who understand the reference. Maybe not. Nice. That counter battery fire is effective. What guns do we got here? 4-pound gallopers. Are they both 4-pound gallopers? Very nice. I mean, we drove both batteries off their guns. I've never seen counter battery fire work like this. Everybody aim at the larger unit. I don't know why you're wasting your ammo on the 25-man unit. All right, so we got them some additional ammo. They're not full up, but they're in pretty good shape. Maybe we could take the fort here. Maybe we can destroy these guys. Granted, with all those reinforcements coming up, it's not a fight that I will still probably have to withdraw, but Could greatly weaken the enemy. Jeez. Is it because we're firing into their flank? Like they seem to be firing out toward these guys maybe? Oh man, they just knocked out another gun there. 2 guns what do you call it? When the gun is knocked off its carriage. There's a term for it, I think. But yeah, just keep pounding the bastards. We routed them off their guns. Nice. And I'm not worried about them now. They're just going to be regular infantry, effectively. So you guys shoot at the guys that are on their cannons. And maybe we'll have enough ammo left from the artillery when we're done here to, at least from one of the batteries, to soften up these guys on this fort. Maybe break through the center of the lines. I don't think the enemy's going to exit their fort, but that was a pretty big freaking deal. I don't think I can take... If we break this unit up, can any of these guys go take those guns? No, they can't. Are they going to try and go back and occupy their guns? Because if they are, we're going to make them pay for it. They are going to try. That was dumb. You were dumb. Alright, don't pursue. Just pull back. Alright, we're low on ammo now. Go ahead and pound the fort. Hey, they're routing off the map. Nice. So one of the smaller battery was shattered. I think that means they were destroyed. The larger battery was routed off the map. Let's see if our artillery can do anything against these guys behind these earthen works. Probably not as effective as we'd like, but every casualty we inflict is a good one. Meanwhile, our boys are going to sit back here and rest a bit. Get their condition up to 100%. Alright, so they are... Where are these guys running to? Where are you retreating to? You're retreating into my guns? That's goofy. Sometimes the retreating paths in this game are not the best. Meanwhile, these guys are pretty much out of ammo. I don't think you ever fully run out. I think you keep reloading. What are they doing? Alright, well that battery's shattered. Glory be to God. Right, these guys still have some ammo. So that artillery is not going to be very useful other than to soften up these enemy regiments, so let's do it. We've already inflicted 20 casualties on them, so I know they're in a fort, and they're definitely not losing as heavily as they would be if they were out in the open. But they've still lost over about 20 men, so we'll just kind of speed this up a bit. I know the morale calculations get all wonky when you speed things up, but I don't care if they rout, you know? Hey, the fort's on fire! I don't think 4-pound gallopers would destroy a fort, but... Are these guys still shooting? I think they still do, again, very slowly. Yep, they do. I don't know if you can actually destroy the towers in the forts. Like, the towers don't do anything as far as I'm aware. You guys are shooting real long there. Get a little more discipline with your fire here. We will launch the attack at 1600 hours. That'll be 4 o'clock. It's August, so I'm assuming we've still got a decent amount of daylight left. I don't know if nighttime really stops the battles in this or not, but... So 20 casualties inflicted on the regiment back here, almost 50 here. In theory, it's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you retreating? But the flip side of that is, where are you going to retreat to, right? You're in a fort, theoretically. You retreat, the battle's over and you've lost, so... But we've now expended all of our ammo in both of these batteries, so the rate of fire is going to be reduced. 50% casualties inflicted on the regiment at the face of the fort. It's like Pickett's charge all over again. I'd advance, boys. They can't, these flank regiments can fire a little bit, but not very effectively. So try and maximize our fire on them with everything we got. Can't imagine they'd hold up to much. Yes, they're behind considerable cover, but I don't want to stay in the open for too long either, though. They're not gonna last. So we're gonna sort of advance by companies almost, like just sort of leapfrog ahead until these guys are gone. And they're gone. Get into the fort, boys. I don't want to let them reoccupy the wall. There we go. Our boys are notionally on the wall. I don't know if that gives me a big advantage in terms of melee or not. The enemy's going to melee me, though. So let's charge up and over. Yeah, we're losing quite a few men. Well, this may end up being a Pyrrhic victory. All right, we routed those boys. Get them up into the fort. So they routed one of my lead regiment or division or whatever that is. All right, you guys get up there if you guys are just going to charge on in. Oh, they're routing me now. I think the enemy's about to retreat, even though they are routing some of my units and I am taking heavy casualties. This little red icon here tells me they probably don't have much fight left in them. I did lose about a quarter of my men on that last regiment's charge. Friendly fire from who? The artillery? God, my troops are so bad at meleeing. Rear flanked by who? Well, that regiment's a goner. Did I leave a regiment behind? No, those are POWs. It's like, what did I do? All right, well, that was an annoying result. None of my boys routed off the map. These guys lost 60. The other guys lost like 100. The artillery, despite its weakened state, might actually be still strong enough to... I think if one more of their units rout... Alright, I should have sent Benedict Arnold forward. The fact that I didn't... We didn't get his command bonus, which probably hurt our morale in that fight. I really don't want to retreat at this point, though, with us being so close to victory. I think maybe we just, at this incredibly reduced rate of fire, we hold back. I'm not really interested in charging the boys forward there and taking those casualties again, so maybe we can just pound them into oblivion, give it another 10 minutes in real time and see what happens here. So, how many men are left under your command at this point? You lost 60, 70-ish there, 100 there. We lost pretty heavy casualties, but so did the enemy. They definitely still lost more than we did. But we will not be in any condition for another fight. Up until charging the fort, we were ready for another battle. After those losses, not so much. I suppose firing into the face of the fort maybe was unwise. We could have tried to fire into the flank. The problem is the fort kind of negates the advantage of doing that. Like, if there's a wall between you and their flank, so... I think, anyway, that's the logic I was operating under. Maybe it's faulty logic. Is there a sunset? I don't even know. It's 5 o'clock, so what, August? We should be good for another 2 hours. It's too bad I don't have a little more ammo. This would be going more quickly. We are going to march up to fire a volley. I think that'll send them back, and then what we will do is we will immediately pull back once they rout. So we lost 1 man there, they lost 2. Just keep an eye on it. If I drop below 180, I'll pull back. Alright, we're actually inflicting more casualties on them than they on us. This bloody fort. Look at all these dead bodies. I don't even think these flank regiments are shooting. I don't want to get in a scenario where it's 100 versus 180 and the 100 are in a fort, but 30 versus 180 is fine, I think. They also do get a morale penalty for being under bombardment, I think. I don't know if the fact that we're out of ammo changes that calculation. Because again, they still shoot. It's just a reduced rate of fire. But what did we start this fight? They were at like 35 and we were at 190. We've taken 10 casualties. They've taken more than that. No, don't advance. Just fire at whatever comes into range. Maybe these guys are not getting a fort bonus. I'm not really sure. I know I said no Pyrrhic victories, and I know that's exactly what I'm in the process of doing right now, but... And I said I'll retreat when I hit 180, but after driving that initial regiment back, I'm pulling my, you know, my Pickett's charge mindset, like, hey, we're doing it. I think those guys are going to retreat on their own. Benedict, get up there. Give him a morale boost. Too late. I don't want you to charge, guys. I just want you to stand and fight. I know that goes against everything you're probably trained to do when attacking a fort. I don't want to charge into that fort. I don't want to melee if we can avoid it. Bring these 150 back up. I think I just need to rout or destroy one more company, and these 2 units at 20 have got to be close to being to there. We've got 200 artillery firing, or 200 muskets firing at these 90 guys. I actually think the ratio right now, the losses are favoring us. We're kind of on these guys' flank, which might play a factor, depending on how much that fortification bonus is. These guys have got to be about to evaporate. 2 units at under 20 men? Never seen them give such a good fight. There you go. They're retreating. Can this commander, can Benedict do anything there? No. These guys are trying to retreat now. There you go. Destroyed. All right, so we shattered the one company, shattered another company, and these other guys are going to escape. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happened here. We lost 50% of our men, just shy of it. We lost 500 of 1,100. No guns, so we have 636 men left. The enemy lost 984 out of 1,200. So yes, we did lose a ton of men, but they lost 1,000 men. They lost double what we lost. So that is still a good result, I think, as long as they don't push back against my front line in Canada. Now that I've weakened myself, but I don't think they will. So Benedict won a nice little, tidy little victory there. And as these reinforcements are, I'm assuming, coming north. So we basically are going to force them to devote considerable resources to Halifax, I think. So we will pull our troops back. Get back into Norwich. See what the enemy does. Thank you for the gold, Rhode Island. This is, Cast Iron's got to be like their main, actually it's the only port they have left. So you can see all of the shipping coming in and out, but that's because it's the only port the British have left. So that is why they've concentrated so much shipping. They still have task forces patrolling off the Massachusetts coast, but Cast Iron here, that's where it's at, boys. All right, let's see what they're going to do with the garrison there. We did destroy some companies, so I think that does permanently reduce how much they can reinforce at Halifax. Says they got about 1,800 troops there, so they did shift some strength away. You are a very successful general, and we were able to reach the end of the game content. Despite all the errors and balance problems, we appreciate your efforts and talents. Aww. Well, there you go, boys. That's the end of this early access version. I think the next part is, they said they're working on the next 2 parts of the campaign. Sounds like they might be getting kind of close. I don't know if I'll be able to reload this save or if I'll have to start over. There's definitely a lot I've learned since the first time we played this, but you can see here, I'm assuming kill HP, and I don't even know, that's not casualties because we've lost more than 3,000 men. So I'm not really sure what the HP is. We've definitely lost more than 3,000 men, I think. We lost 500 in that last battle alone. We lost 3 units, 12 killed units. I'm assuming those are regiments. 3 ships, didn't destroy any. Didn't say we lost 0 transports. I don't know if that means troop transports, because we definitely lost merchant ships. So these stats don't mean anything to me. I don't know what they mean, but in any event, that's going to do it for this series. I hope you did enjoy it. Yeah, I guess a victory. Like, we obviously pushed the British out of Boston and took all of Canada. So that's definitely a victory, but that'll do it for today's episode. Let me know your thoughts below. We will definitely pick this up when there are more updates, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And without further ado, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.